Hi, and welcome to the Men on the Path to Love podcast, the My Love is Leaving episode. I'm Bill Simpson, your host. I coach men who are struggling in relationship, how to communicate effectively, build trust, and deepen intimacy so that they can be the best version of themselves in relationship and live the life they love. So, one of the hardest things to face is when the person you love says, "I'm done. I don't love you anymore. I'm leaving." Now, as a relationship coach, it's always my hope to help you thrive in relationship, to help you work out your differences, to get you to recognize your part in the struggle, to take care of yourself, and to help you create a deep and long-lasting connection. Well, sometimes it just doesn't work out for the other person for whatever reason. Maybe because of endless promises to change and you never do. Maybe you drifted apart, lost interest. Maybe there was an affair. Whatever. For Jerry, not his real name, it went like this. Jerry was a cop, a detective actually, for a large metropolitan police force. He kept grueling hours and was hardly at home. He and his wife, Vicky, not her real name, had been married for over 25 years. Vicky worked for the public school system, and for the most part, their marriage was pretty good. Vicky was accustomed to Jerry's hours and the stress his line of work entailed for both of them. Jerry put his life on the line every day, and Vicky worried about him every day. They loved each other very much, and somehow they made it work, raising two kids who were now off to college. Vicky was looking forward to an early retirement. Jerry had less than a year before he was eligible to retire. And the plan was to retire and do the things they both always wanted to do together. Travel, play golf, take dance lessons, learn how to speak French, and so on. Well, the time came for Jerry to retire, and Jerry was like, "I'm not ready," being true to himself. He was in the middle of a case, and he told Vicky that he wanted to wait 2 more years for the next eligibility for retirement, saying that the kids would be out of college and that he'd get even more pension and Social Security, and promised her that they could do all the things they said they would do then. Well, needless to say, Vicky was not happy, right? Matter of fact, she was pretty pissed off. She felt betrayed. Jerry felt bad that he just couldn't do it. And Vicky reluctantly accepted Jerry's decision and told him that she was holding him to his promise. His decision not to retire definitely put a strain on their relationship. Since Vicky was now retired, she was getting involved in a charity group and spending more time with her friends. Jerry was putting most of his time and energy into his work, making some effort to spend time with Vicky, but it was few and far between. So let's fast forward 2 years later. And you probably know what I'm going to say, right? Jerry said that he wanted to wait until he could get full retirement, which would be in about 3 years. Well, that was it for Vicky. Jerry had crossed the line in the sand. He tried to plead his case to Vicky, telling her that he loved her, couldn't imagine living life without her, gave her all kinds of promises and whatnot, but Vicky held her ground and said no. She told Jerry that she cared for him, but that she didn't love him anymore, and that she was done. 28 years of marriage was over. This was a case where Jerry, being true to himself, actually cost him his marriage and a very painful and expensive divorce. So what do you do or say when your partner or spouse says it's over? Well, I was told a long time ago that it's probably better to start off with what not to do or say. As much as you feel hurt and might want to beg her to stay, don't beg her to stay. The more you beg, the more likely she is to want to leave even more. Yeah. Don't tell her that you promise to change and do whatever it takes, because chances are she won't believe you because you've said it 100 times and didn't come through. Don't give her a list of all the things you've done to change. It won't help your cause because it obviously wasn't enough and she has all the power by this point. And don't think of ways to get revenge, ways to try to hurt her since she hurt you. You might think that it might make you feel better in the moment to do so, but it's more likely to make you feel worse in the long run, to make an already difficult situation even harder and potentially uglier. All right, so that's what not to do, right? So what do you do or say? Well, the main thing to do here is to just let your partner or spouse know that you are going to be okay. And even when your heart is breaking and you feel like you're falling apart, let her know that you will be okay, because eventually you will be okay. You will get over it and heal and will be able to move forward. Now, the next thing is to just listen to her with an open, sincere, and caring heart. And as hard as it might be, let her go. Put yourself in her shoes and think about how you would want her to respond if the shoe was on the other foot. You can tell her how much you love her, tell her that you will miss her some kind of awful, and that you understand and that you need her to do whatever she needs to do to take care of herself, to live the life she loves. And say it from the heart like you mean it, without any expectations. And as strange as it may sound, it may be the best shot at showing her how much you really love her. There's a quote from author Richard Bach. He says, "If you love someone, set them free. If they come back, they're yours. If they don't, they never were." So, what do you do now that she's gone? Well, this is the time for self-compassion, allowing yourself to feel all the uncomfortable feelings that come up during a time like this, because this is a huge loss. It's almost like a death, but almost worse because she's still around. Feelings like heartache, disappointment, betrayal, anger, and the soft side of anger, which is sadness, and so on. All that's valid. And self-compassion is about treating yourself as you would someone you love and care about. Comfort yourself and say things to yourself like, "Man, I'm so sorry you're going through this right now. I'm sorry this hurts so much." What would you want someone to say to you to comfort you and support you? Say it to yourself. Self-compassion is not to be confused with self-pity. Like, woe is me, I suck, I'll never find anybody who really loves me, and so on. No, it's about recognizing the pain of it all, feeling it, comforting yourself, and letting it pass. And repeat as often as these difficult feelings come up. Self-compassion is hard because we're not used to it. The more you practice, the better you get. And the better you get, the easier it is to get through a crisis like your love leaving you. As you practice self-compassion, then start working on yourself. Bring your awareness to what you need to do to change so that you can be a better you in any relationship, whether she happens to love you again or for your next relationship. That's what I'm here to help you to do, helping you to avoid the patterns and mistakes from the past, learn a new mindset and skills to move forward, and build your life better than ever to be ready for the next amazing relationship that awaits you. Now, getting back to Jerry, he did end up retiring 3 years later. And since his divorce, he realized he needed some help in getting his life together. He saw a therapist and worked on himself, and he met someone new. Jerry now says he couldn't be happier, and that's a far cry from where he was 3 years ago, proving that even in Jerry's case, at 68 years old, it's never too late to be on the path to love. There's a gift or silver lining from a crisis like the heartbreak of your love leaving you. It's that, first of all, you will heal, and the experience gives you the opportunity to learn and grow and be better the next time around. Personal growth takes a lot of strength, courage, and commitment, yet it is well worth the investment so you can get on the path to living the life you love. That'll do it for the Men on the Path to Love podcast, the My Love is Leaving episode. I'm Bill Simpson. Thanks for listening and taking the time to learn how to be a better you for you and in relationship. And as always, if you're having any challenges in your relationship or have comments or suggestions for the podcast or would like to join my email list, please email me at bill@pathwaystolivingwell.com. That's bill@pathwaystolivingwell.com. Well, in this episode, you heard me talk a little bit about self-compassion, right? Well, please join me for the next episode as we take a deeper dive into the power of self-compassion on the Men on the Path to Love podcast, the self-compassion episode. And until then, keep your heart open and stay on the path to love.